Most natural women with really long hair seem to constantly retain length whilst everyone else is stuck at one length, and it's usually their shoulders, like it was for me. But there's something that pretty much all of them do, and one example that we're going to look at is Sosodarl, whose name is Sharon. Now, Sosodarl is someone who you can see her complete hair journey right from the start, right up to where she is now. And I personally love that because I love being able to see where she started, because she didn't just pop out of nowhere, pop out of the blue and say, oh, this is how I grew my hair. You can actually see the proof of it. So I really love that. So we're going to talk about just one of her key habits that helped her to reach butt length hair. And just to add, this is a Nigerian woman, okay? By the way, I'm Celestine and I'm on a journey of growing my hair from shaved to tailbone length, and I aim to do that in 7 years. What I do is I'm here sharing tips and tricks and everything that I'm learning along the way. So if that's what you're interested in, then do hit that subscribe button and then click all so that you'll be notified whenever I go live on YouTube. So this is Sosodarl, absolutely beautiful woman, absolutely beautiful hair. And this is where she started from. Can you believe that, right? And this is where her hair is now. Now, I believe she describes herself as type 4, medium to low porosity. I'm not too sure about density. I'm not too sure about strand thickness. One key thing that I noticed what Sosodarl does is she keeps her hair stretched. And I want you to think of all of the long hair naturals that you know of. How often do you see them wear their hair in its totally natural, shrunken afro state? It's probably not very often.
There are 3 things I do to stretch out my hair depending on how I want my hair to look. I either do braids or chunky twists or bantu knots. Now, I do braids when I want my hair to be really elongated and I want my length to show. I do twists when I want my hair to look voluminous, chunky twists, and then I do bantu knots when I need to stretch out my roots.
One thing you'll notice is that apart from during the shampoo or wash process, her hair rarely seems to be allowed to shrink up, as in fully shrink up into like a little afro. I believe the reason she does this is because it's going to help reduce single strand knots, reduce tangles. It's going to prevent her hair from wrapping around itself. And also it's going to be much easier to detangle her hair because it is stretched and straightened out in a sense. If you happen to be curious about her full actual routine, then this is a bit of a breakdown of it, okay? Okay, so in week 1, she will clarify her hair and then she will deep condition. She'll follow that up with protective styling, usually using the LOC method. And typically she wears her hair in twists as well. So week 2, she will refresh her hair with rose water, aloe vera juice, and distilled water. And then she will then follow it up with moisturizing again with the LOC method. LOC, by the way, means liquid oil cream. Then in week 3, she will co-wash her hair and then follow up with a deep conditioner and again, protective style. In week 4, she will not wash her hair, but she will refresh it and moisturize it. Week 5, now she's going back to washing her hair, and this will be a clarifying wash along with deep conditioner as well. And then I'm sure she continues with the normal protective styling and LOC. In week 6, she will just refresh her hair again and moisturize it with the LOC. And in week 7, she goes back to washing her hair. So this will be a clarifying wash, then follows it up with a protein treatment, and then the usual protective styling and moisturizing. So the key things is she washes her hair every 2 weeks. Her protein treatment seems to be on about a 7-week rotation, and she moisturizes her hair every week. I also noticed that she predominantly finger detangles and protective styles again with usually twists, I believe. Now, there may be other key parts of her routine that I have missed out. So I have linked her Instagram profile in the description box of this video. So feel free to check her out. And by the way, she has created her own hair care product line, so you might want to check that out as well. One thing I love is the fact that she has a set routine that has been helping her to retain length over all of these years. And I too noticed that as soon as I developed a routine and basically stuck to it, that's how I managed to get to waist length. And so if your hair is like mine was, you know, if it gets stuck at one length and you feel like you just can't grow it any longer no matter what you do, then a routine is probably what you need. You know, you need a clear routine. So click the link in the pinned comment of this video and you'll get some help with that. Sosodarl has definitely discovered that her hair finds it harder to retain length if the ends are constantly tangling up. Because of course, like we mentioned, the curlier, you know, kinkier hair strands, it's much easier for them to tangle up and wrap around each other, and it just causes a bit of a challenge. Now, I do just want to clarify, stretching your hair is not going to make it grow any faster. That's not what I'm saying, but it helps you keep more of the growth that you already have. So it's really a helpful way to retain length. So if you were considering using this by stretching your hair, one of the ways that you can do it is by putting your hair into a few bigger sections, like after wash day, and either plaiting those sections, twisting them, or bantu knotting them. And then later on in the week, once your hair has fully dried and therefore it's now stretched, you know, in that style, then you can take it out and put in whatever style it is that you want. So for example, mini twist or mini braids. And what I will say as well is when you put those styles in, either the braids or the twists, they're going to look so much more stretched. They're going to show your length much better. I personally was doing it this way, but I was finding that I was parting my hair a bit too often and therefore causing a little bit more breakage that I wasn't really happy with. So instead of doing it that way, the way that I keep my hair stretched is basically during my wash day, I do not loose the twists. What I mean is I don't allow my twist to be loose at any point during the wash process. The only time that I loosen my twists is I do it one by one, and that's when I am adding moisture and retwisting that twist. This really helps me to part my hair a lot kind of less often, and this is a technique that I've learned from indigenous strands. So if you do want to see my full wash day, how I go about it, then I'll link that in the video that's above right now for you. Looking at Sosodarl's routine, it does remind me that a lot of women with very long natural hair, they end up giving really similar advice. Now, even if they have different textures, different routines, you know, different products, what I notice is the principles that they share are usually the same, which I think is amazing because then we can more easily learn from them. So if you want to see the advice I've gathered from Butt Length Naturals, including more examples from women like Sosodarl, then click the video that's on the screen right now and I'll see you over there in that one.